Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another Ready to Ride Pilates for Horse Rider session. I do apologise about the beam of light on the floor. I just can't get the curtains to do anything different, so we'll have to hope it doesn't get in the way too much. Today we are going to be doing another whole body session, but it's all going to be seated or lying down. So all you need is something comfortable to be on, but there won't be any chopping and changing, and you won't need masses and masses of space. So we are going to start in sitting, and I'd like you to just set yourself up. Hopefully you're already warmed up, done one of the warm-up sessions, but just to get your body in position, ready to go, I'd like you to think about having equal weight through both of your seat bones and drawing your spine up so it's long and tall and elastic, but without being fixed and rigid. Then I'd like you to pop your arms across your chest, check that your shoulders are level, and then you're going to turn your shoulders from side to side, maintaining that level position through your shoulders throughout the whole movement. Also, try to focus on keeping that equal weight through both of your seat bones. This is so key for avoiding that tendency most of us have to collapse through one side. Yes, a lot of it is about strength, but if you're not aware that you do it in the first place, you're going to really struggle to sort the situation out. So really this is about awareness. Then we're going to swap. So your legs are the other way around and your arms the other way around. It's going to feel really weird, but again, set yourself up, feel your seat bones, they're equal. And then once again, you're into those turns, keeping your shoulders level. If you want to have the ultimate in symmetry perfection, you need to be able to do every exercise that you challenge your body to do the same both ways. Keep checking, is there equal weight through the seat bones? Are your shoulders level? Last one. Okay, we're now going to go down flat onto the front, and we're going to start off doing your hundreds exercise. So for you, hopefully you've got just enough space. We're going to start with your arms out to the side, and I would like you to set yourself up by drawing your shoulder blades back and down, so the front of your shoulders come away from the floor. Lift your tummy just away from that imaginary puddle of water underneath you, and bring your pelvic floor lift onto floor 3. For you guys, look at the floor. I'm looking at the camera so I can see you and you can hear me a little bit better. And then you're going to pat the imaginary puddles of water by your side. Now you want to keep either your index finger or middle finger touching the floor with both hands, and that way you know that both arms are doing the same thing. Keep checking your shoulder blades are back and down, tummy's away from the puddle, pelvic floor is onto floor 3. And then we're going to add in a few moves as well. Still with that patting. Still keeping the shoulder blades back and down, tummy away from the puddle of water, pelvic floor onto floor 3. This is all about stamina for your shoulder blade muscles. They're the muscles that really give you that stability of your contact. It's not strength further down your arm, it's strength up around your shoulders. Go once more, back around to your starting point. Good job. Then you're going to bring your arms back up underneath you and lift yourself up onto your forearms. Now I'd like you to engage your pelvic floor muscles, and we're going to lift your pelvis just off the floor, then slowly back down. So engage your pelvic floor onto floor 3, lift your pelvis and slowly back down. Now it's key with this one that you don't go and hold your breath all the way through the movement. Keep your breathing steady and regular. The easiest way to do this is to be talking or singing to yourself. You can do it really quietly so that no one else can hear, but that is far and away the best way to make sure that you keep your breathing nice and regular. If this is a little bit easy for you, then you can make it harder by tucking your toes underneath your feet, and then you can lift the pelvis, then the knees, and then lower the knees and the pelvis, or you can lift knees and pelvis together and bring them down together. It doesn't matter, you've now got 3 options depending on how strong you are feeling today or in general. The main thing is that you end up, if you're going up the harder version, you're going into a straight plank position. We want to avoid bottoms in the air or a glorified cobra position. So the main thing is the quality of the end product of what you achieve. Also, whichever one you're doing, just watch that you don't dip down through your head. Try to keep your head level, so your upper body isn't moving. It might be the bit that's doing the hardest work, but it's not moving while you're working. It's your body that's moving, not your head and neck. Again, that's a key skill to have when you're in the horse. We've all seen people with those bobbly heads doing sitting trot. A lot of that comes down to strength The stronger you are, the better, but you want to keep your head still and not get into bad habits. We'll do one more. Okay, now we're going to go onto your side and we're going to do the clam. We're going to do ideally your level 2 version, so that's with your feet off the floor. If you're not feeling up for that today, keep your feet on the floor, it's absolutely fine though. So mouse holes open, I seem to have a shaft of light highlighting my mouse hole very nicely. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you're opening and closing that top knee, keeping that top headlight absolutely still, so all that movement is coming from your hip. That's key to applying your leg aids in the saddle. The movement, the control has to come from the hip. The stability is coming from your pelvis. Then we're going to make it a bit harder and add in some of those extensions. You still want to keep that headlight absolutely still, so the pelvis is your anchor. The hip and the glutes are doing the moving. The pelvis is your anchor. Good job. Keep the mouse hole, keep the pelvic floor, and keep your breathing nice and regular. Okay, one more of this one. Good job. Okay, feet down. I'm going to turn onto your back, and now we're going to work on your hip twist, which is another really good one for hip control. You can do this in 2 different positions. It depends on how you're feeling today. If you've got a spiky ball handy, pop your spiky ball onto your tummy. Hands onto your headlights. Feet and knees approximately hip width apart. And then if you're going to do the easier version, it's taking your knee out and back up, and then take the other knee out and back up. So you're keeping your tummy neutral, headlights staying absolutely still. If you want to do the harder version, then go from tabletop and you're taking the whole leg out in turn. Make sure the foot follows the knee so you don't get some twisting or the foot leading the knee. It's the whole leg on the move, but you're still using your hands for feedback, making sure that your headlights stay absolutely level. Think about your imaginary ropes or springs holding your ribs gently down towards your pelvis. If they're too fixed and rigid, you won't be able to breathe. It's just stopping them from pinging up towards the ceiling. We'll do one more with each leg. Keep that pelvic floor, keep that breathing. Okay, then feet down if they were up, and we're going to move on to your shoulder bridge. So hands onto the floor beside you, feet and knees approximately hip width apart, and pelvic floor onto floor 3. So then you're going to roll back to imprint your low back. I should say if you've got a headrest, just slide it out of the way, roll back, and then you're peeling up each vertebrae one at a time until you get to the top of your bridge. Pause at the top for a nice breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're coming back down each vertebrae one at a time. Head for your imprint, and then to neutral. So again, it's pelvic floor, roll back to imprint, and you're peeling up each vertebrae. Have that string of pearls or bicycle chain feeling all the way to the top. Breath in at the top, and then breathe out, coming back down each vertebrae, head for the imprint at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to bring your arms up so they're pointing up to the ceiling. Again, if you're not feeling up for this today, keep your hands on the floor, it's fine. Check your hands stay shoulder width apart, soft and light. Pelvic floor, roll back to imprint again, peel up each vertebrae in turn. Another nice breath in at the top. And again, breathe out. So now you're focusing on the quality of your shoulder bridge, every single vertebrae, up and down, imprinting, start and finish. Hopefully keeping your feet and knees, well, feet should be anchored, keeping your knees hip width apart, but also now thinking about keeping your hands shoulder width apart and relaxed. This is your contact, remember. So you need to be able to, like I said earlier, you want to have an independent seat, but you need to have an independent contact as well. Do one more just like this. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands back down. We're going to finish off by doing some hip dips with this exercise. So same start, pelvic floor, roll back to imprint. And when you get to the top, make sure you can breathe, and then you're going to do your dip. So you're dipping one side of your pelvis and up, then the other side and back up. So you're alternating which side you dip in turn. What you're not doing is both sides at the same time, one up, one down. It's one side down and the other side stays still. This is tricky, but this is also really important if you want that independent seat and you want to have really good control over exactly what each part of your body is doing. So we'll do one more each way. Keep the pelvic floor. And then come back down each vertebrae one at a time. in turn, 3 imprints to finish. We're now going to go onto the side you haven't already been on to do your clam. You can just turn away from the screen if you're happy with what you're doing. And again, you can have feet on the floor if you really want, but if possible, let's have your feet off the floor, lined up with your bottom, mouse holes, pelvic floor, and top hand onto your top headlight. And you're going to open and close your top knee, keeping that pelvis absolutely still. All that movement is coming from your hip, and then again we'll add in some extensions. You may well be starting to get a wee bit tired now, but don't worry, we're very nearly finished. So keep your mouse hole, keep your pelvic floor, keep that breathing nice and regular. You want that little mantra running through your head the whole time. A bit like when you're in the saddle, you've probably got a little mental checklist of things, and if you haven't, I really recommend that you do. When you're doing Pilates, think in this position, mouse hole, pelvic floor, breathing, headlight. And we'll do one more. Good job. Okay, then bring yourselves up, and we're just going to pop onto your knees, and we're going to do a little stretch to finish. So take your hands out in front of you. If you can't get your bottom onto your heels, it doesn't matter at all. It's just, if you can, it's great. So hands out in front of you for a nice big stretch and a breath in. And another one if you can, comfortably. And then you're going to bring your hands back towards your knees. And I'm going to sit facing you, can stay kneeling, that's absolutely fine. Great, well done everybody. Hopefully that's just a nice all-round reminder of the various bits of your body that you need to have strong and supple, ready to help you improve your riding. Hope it's been useful, hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me, and take care. I'll see you again very soon.